Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is another Beyond Click and Cliff where I give you a podcast of stories of my life. No Lego when we talk here, but this is where you get to actually get to know me. Some of my funny stories, some not so funny stories, but nonetheless, you get to know more about me and I love sharing with y'all. So make sure you hit that like button and all that. Um, but first, I want to go back to last episode of Beyond Clinton Cliff. I told you the story about me getting lost. I was in the woods, riding my bike, got lost. Was lucky to find a police officer, and they got me my way home. But there was a comment that I wanted to read from that video. And I'll do that. I'll read some comments from the video from the weeks past, if there is any, and share them. It makes us get to know each other better. This comes from Star Hunter 2300 3 years ago. Um, he said, excellent video and story of your childhood. People were much more trustworthy and the neighborhood safer back in the day. When I was a kid, my family very often went on camping trips and we would bring our bikes. I used to disappear for hours in an unfamiliar territory, but I had an uncanny sense of direction. I never got lost. I drove my parents crazy though. One time we took a trip to Disney in 1975 when I was 13. As soon as a camp was set up, I took off on my bike. I returned to camp several hours later, and the Florida State Police Highway Patrol were all at the campsite. Boy, my parents was mad and embarrassed. They thought the worst. To this day, I never use GPS. I use old-fashioned paper maps to find my way to the destinations and usually memorize the route before embracing on a trip. True. Uh, Back then, places were safer. Um, Sad to say, how this world's ending up where it's not so safe out there anymore. Like I said, I remember when I was a kid, I used to mark curfews when the sun went down, and that was it. That was the curfew. I didn't have no. I mean, I didn't really have rules. I mean, I knew right from wrong. So I don't know. World's different nowadays for sure. You can't do that. You can't just walk up to a stranger's house, ask directions, or in case you are lost, you may get yourself in a worse predicament. Sad to say, but that's the world we live in today, and we gotta move on from that. So, thank you for the comment below. And that's why I want y'all to comment. Tell me your stories too. Come on, get to know each other. That's the thing we're doing. Anyway, well, today I want to talk about school day skipped. And now, I imagine all of us when we were kids, or maybe you still are a kid. I'm not condoning this action, but this is what I did, and that's the only thing I can tell you in experience I did. I remember in grade school, I never skipped school. Never skipped school until my senior year. Now, ask me why I waited so long to do that. I don't know. But I was always scared to get in trouble. Always scared to get in trouble. Um, Went through, K through 11th grade, not missing a day on perfect attendance. And then I guess the wild side got me. Um, now, now, I got in trouble with my parents, of course, growing up. I mean, I never, but as first school, I, I It was horrible, horrible. I was on perfect attendance, good deal. I actually enjoyed school, but you know, I was a kid and I did some honorary things. And one of the honorary things was my senior year, I just didn't care. Back in the day, I'd have 24 credits to graduate, and I had 23. So in my mind, oh, I can make that one credit up, be good, right? Well, so I started skipping school with my friends. I got influenced by my friends. They're still my friends to this day, but you know, I was the only one who had a truck or had a vehicle. So of course they're going to try to influence me to skip school because they didn't want to be there. So one day we skipped school. I lived 30 minutes away from the lake, and of course the times we were skipping was during the summer or beginning of school, and towards the end, well, till bad weather came in. But I need to say, I was skipping school. Um, Went down to the lake, had a blast. What we did was we took our lunch money, combined it. We bought, now I don't condone smoking, but as a kid, we bought a pack of cigarettes, bought a soda, went to the lake. What my we had, it used to be a taco store right there. So at lunch we'd go to the taco, and there were 25-cent tacos. So we would eat tacos for lunch and go back to the lake and swim. We'd jump off the cliffs, just swim in the lake all day. Um, it was fun, but one of those things, we did that. We came home. We told ourselves we gotta go to school tomorrow. Okay, fine. One day ain't gonna hurt. I was sick. They didn't. When I was in the senior, they didn't ask for a doctor's excuse or a parent's excuse. They didn't ask for all that. Kind of took you on your word. So, well, the next morning, I was a good friend. I go pick them up from school, and they look at each other, look at me. And, so you want to do it again? Yeah, let's go. But what we did that for 2 days, right? We skipped 2 days straight. Well, well, where my school was, there was a curve, like a T, split off. Curve went to school, and that way went to the lake. And it was a pretty nice curve. I mean, you could take that pretty high speed, and that's what we did. We made a rule with each other. Okay, we'll go 80 miles an hour. If we make the curve, we'll go to school. If we can't, we'll go straight to the lake. And for 10 days straight, I didn't make that turn. We went to the lake for 10 days straight, 2 weeks. I skipped school for 2 weeks. Uh, like I said, I'm not condoning it. This is just a story that I wanted to share with you all. Uh, you know, the first 5 days we looked at it, man, we're crazy. The next week, he's like, dude, we need to go back to school. We're going to get in big trouble. Well, not me. My buddy was a womanizer. I would say womanizer. He always, flirted with, girls. And anyway, he gave he was talking to this girl that we met while we were skipping school. I don't know why she did it. I don't know how she got the number. But the next day, she called the school looking for him to talk to him. She was acting like his mother so she could talk to him. And that's how we got busted because he the school called his mom, and his mom goes, "Well, go see if me or my friend was at school too." And she goes, "Well, no, they all missed for 2 weeks." I knew there was something wrong because when I came home that Friday night, I always had it figured out. We swim in the morning, and we'd let it close right in the afternoon and get home. So we always go. There used to be a park down there we used to hang out in, mess around, dry out, and go and drive home. But anyway, we got home. My dad was sitting at the kitchen table, and he's never there when I was home. He used to be out working. I got home from school, my truck, and got in the truck. What I always do, my routine. Go and get out of my school clothes and get in some clothes, go out and do my chores and all that stuff. I was doing, but my dad was sitting at the kitchen table. I'm going, oh no. He just looked at me. He said, "Do not lie to me, boy. Did you go to school today?" And I knew right there I was busted. I said, "No, no, sir, I didn't. We went to the lake, had some fun." He said, "How many days did you do this?" And right there, I started shaking in my boots. I'm like, well, Dad, we haven't been there for 2 weeks. He looked at me in disgust. He was upset. I could tell he was upset. And I knew how to watch. I had to be truthful, and I knew I was going to have to take what was coming to me. I knew I was going to get in trouble. But my surprise, my dad looked at me. He said, "Son, you've gone 11 years of school. Don't screw up on this last year." He said, "If you want to quit school, I advise you don't. But you are going to go get a job. You're not going to stay around here and do nothing." He goes, "But I would really strongly suggest you go get your act together and get through high school." Well, I was upset. And I knew I was going to get in trouble at school too because 2 weeks they're going to say something. Um, so the next day of school, me and my two friends, we went to school. We knew we'd been had, that we'd be good. We need to go. So we went, and our principal, she goes, "I think we need to talk." Yeah, okay, yeah. So she took us to the office, set us down, and she just looked and she goes, "Well, what's going on?" And my friend, I swear to you, this just came rolling off his tongue like he was practicing it. But me and my other friend didn't have a clue what he was about to say. He goes, "Well, I had to go to the doctor and for check my brain, and them two came with me to support me." I'm like, "What?" Miss Ferry goes, "No, we know where you've been. You didn't go to no doctor. We talked to your mom." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" Me and him was shocked. We were like, "What?" Then she was going over her punishment. We could expel you right now. And that's when I said, "Man, don't I know, no. We'll go to school. We'll stay in school." Well, our punishment uh, was she goes, "Well, I was going to give you 3 days out of school suspension, but that's what you've been doing. Y'all are not going to learn doing that. Yeah, that's just 3 extra days that are excused in our books. You already missed 2 weeks." So she gave us in school suspension for 4 days. So we was in ISS. What it was, you went to a room and you were put in these little cubicles, and that's all. You couldn't look around. You had to stay there, do your work. So we made up all of our work and all that stuff that we missed out on. But after we were walking out of the principal's office, me and him looked at the guy who had a brain checked out. Me and my friend both said, "You go and get your brain checked out after what you just said in there. What the heck were you thinking? Brain?" He goes, "I know. I was just trying something," he said. I said, "Well, we failed." Well, my first semester was incomplete because I skipped a bunch of school. And my classes all I had was ag and votech. That was my classes. Easy A's. I mean, all I had to do is be there. And my ag instructor pulled me into his office. He goes, "You're better than this," and he goes, I don't want to see you go through this and all that. I understood. I understood. Um, but so the rest of the school year, I was there every day. Um, there was when you're a senior, they had these days called Senior Skip Day, and that came up, and I was in school perfect attendance. I went to ask my dad. I said, "Hey, look, I've not missed a day of school since that happened. Can I skip today? Today's Senior Skip Day. Everybody's gonna go to the lake and have fun. I want to be partake in it." My dad said, "Well, this one we'll let you." And my ag teacher said, me and made a deal. He goes, "I'll give you $50 if you stay. If I." He goes, "I bet you." He made a bet. I bet you $50 that you will not stay in school. Won't miss another day. And I took him up on the bet. I was proud of you. Yeah, I can do that. Senior skip day comes up. I go, shoot, I forgot about that bet. So I went and talked to him. I say, "Hey, I'm doing good. I'm making A's now, because I was showing up." And I asked him, I go, "What? Can I miss this senior skip day?" And he goes, "Yeah, go ahead." Me being naive and a kid, okay, sweet. So I skipped that day, and he comes back the next day. I come back in his class. He goes, "Well, you got my $50?" I go, "What?" "I bet you $50 so you would not miss one more day." "And what happened yesterday?" There, I knew I messed up. So I had to pay him $50. I had to, I'm sure that wasn't culture back then. You're not supposed to bet with your students, but he did it for my own good. He was trying to influence me to stay in school and get my last credit I needed to graduate and move on. So that's what I did. I graduated and I was on the honor roll. Imagine that. First semester was incomplete, and then my last semester I missed one day. That was a senior skip day, and that was a $50 expensive day for me. But I graduated high school, so yeah, I'm not condoning this this conduct with you guys. Young peeps out there, do not skip school. Stay in school. Don't 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 take my this ma. Stay in school. Don't skip school. It's bad. Don't do it. But yeah, it's just the experience on life. It's like, hey, I skipped school, but what? But as I got older, I am 44 years old now. Back then, I was 17, 16, 17 years old. I learned my lesson. I learned lessons there that you're not going to get anywhere if you just breeze by. That 2 weeks we were breezing by. We got incomplete. So you got to put in the work to get paid. And so you got to put in the work to be successful. So I did learn that lesson. Nobody's going to give you nothing for free. You got to earn it, work for it. And that's one thing I got out of the whole thing. And I take back, I always believed as a child you'll enjoy childhood because when you get to be an adult, that's time's over. And I do miss being that age because I was able to do whatever I wanted. But that was my story of skipping school. And like I said, I don't condone it to anybody. But you're a kid. You sometimes you do make the bad decisions, and you always can learn from them. But yeah, I I thank you guys for listening to this little podcast of mine. Yeah, like I said, I never set a time. I'm not going to start talking an whole hour just to be talking. But I gotta, thing I want to talk about. I do that, and however long it takes is however long it takes. But I do hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please hit that like button down below. Leave me a comment. Let me fill me on some of your stories, and I'll read them off on the next episode or next podcast. But and subscribe if you haven't. If you'd like to hear more, please let me know and subscribe. Um, but yeah, be smart, stay in school, and pay it forward and be nice to one another. And thank you very much. And you guys have a wonderful day.